What's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to the John Browner podcast. Baby, listen, we in a whole new location. New as in the sense of, new as in the sense of new studio. Who this? When I say new studio, I mean I built this. I had a lot of help, but I built this. I built this. So when I tell y'all this thing has been in the works for a couple of months, obviously the style is still under development, but I figured, why not kick the tires today? So as I'm on the show today, feel free to let me know if there's an echo or if there is a sound issue or if you can hear something. Because again, this is the first run. This is the test run of the new studio. Same person, same sound, same energy, same sports takes, whether you like them or you don't like them. The same person trying to get you to like, subscribe, and share. Same person trying to get you to follow and retweet. All of that, all that's the same. All that's the same, man, but I'm just doing it. I'm just doing it from a new building. I built this. I built this, bruh. I built this. Shout out to Hopi. Shout out to me. We built this. So you got to figure out what's going on out here, man, because this is just, bells and whistles, kicking the tires. So let me explain a little bit what you're seeing behind you. By the way, if you're new to the show, shout out to the chat pack for everybody in early comment and let me know what y'all think about the new backdrop in the new studio. 2, if you're new to the show, I'm John Brown, and this is the John Browner podcast. We are available on Facebook, LinkedIn, for some reason, I don't know, YouTube, Twitch, and X accounts. On one of the X accounts, our good friends at the Sporting Tribune, our partner, is one of the people that broadcast this show on their Twitter page or X page. So shout out to them. Give them a follow so you can keep up with the stuff that I do on the Sporting Tribune tonight, which is a sports show that airs at the end of the night where most of the sporting events have ended. So like that, share that, retweet that. Now, because this is a fly got in here. So Fly is my guest host today. I don't know how that's going to go, but big ass Fly too. So lot to talk about on this week's show, on today's show. Whenever you do a Monday show, Monday shows are kind of my favorite because so many things have happened over the weekend. It's not about can I get to something? It's will I get to all the things that I have seen that I want to get to. And so, as usual, like I said, if you want to be a part of the show, the John Browner podcast at gmail.com. That's how you hop on there. You become a part of the show. You email me. I either read it here, or I find a way to talk about it. Either way, you become a part of the show. So, with that said, we are also, by the way, continued shout outs to everybody who are continuing to subscribe to the show. We are growing. We are above 300. We are on our way to 500 now. And so that is the next milestone that we are trying to hit. Hopefully this fly can subscribe to the show. But that's the next milestone we're trying to hit. We're trying to hit that 500 milestone. So help your boy get there, man. Shout out to everybody, again, who have subscribed to get us to 300. Now tell a friend to get us to 500. And hopefully this thing can move quickly. By the way, stuff coming up. I'm working on being live at the Del Mar opening day races. That sounded weird when I said it. The opening day race day, opening race day at Del Mar, because I said opening day races. That sounds hella wild to say it and put it like that. But anyway, I'm working on that, talking to somebody about that today, but I'll let y'all know about the details whenever those things get figured out. Now, listen, man. Listen. There's no AC in here. That's what I'm saying. We are going about this. We're going about this in a way. I might be sweating. I might be dripping halfway through this show, y'all. Now again, this is better than the original share. This is better than the original podcast share. Okay, the podcast share brought to you by. We'll figure that part out. But the podcast share was plastic. This is a legit wood frame. It's got obviously it has a door, but it's got windows. It's got ventilation, like a little vent thing here. I don't know why that vent thing is there, to be perfectly honest with you, because there's no AC in here. So Might get hot, might not, might sweat, might not, but just so y'all know, that's how we getting in. That's how we getting it in. If I put a portable AC in here, so it's 10 by 8. So it's 10 feet by 8 feet. So if I put a portable AC in here, y'all will hear it. Like if I put a portable AC in here, you will absolutely hear it. So we're gonna try to stay away from that. But let's get to the number one thing I wanted to talk about because we talked about a lot of soccer so far during the World Cup, and a lot has happened. Soccer has given me a lot of content. It's given me a lot of laughter. It's given me a one of my favorite guests now. Shout out to Coach. And so we have been moving along with soccer in the World Cup, trying to continue our fandom, my fandom, because you guys were already fans. I'm just following y'all lead. But I got to tell y'all, I got to be honest. I'm in favor of the VAR. Now, I know this is going to make some of y'all mad. We got to stop the flop. Every, FIFA, and again, I'm new to this. I ain't true to this. I'm new to this, but I can tell y'all, I hate flopping. I hate flopping with a passion. I hate flopping at such a level you literally you don't understand. The fact that soccer has such a massive culture of guys flopping, this is the thing that really burns me up about soccer. These are the best players in the world when it comes to soccer. The fastest, the strongest, the best footwork, the best head game, the best the best everything, best goalkeeping, best striking, best corner kicks. These are the best players in the world. The flopping, disgusting. The flopping absolutely disgust me in a way I really didn't anticipate. Because I hate flopping in basketball, but it's bad in basketball. It's not egregious. In soccer, it is egregious. And if I get parts of this story wrong because I don't necessarily know the ins and outs of it, somebody here please correct me. But this and the Argentina Switzerland game, buddy, listen. I'm glad they ran your ass up out of there. I'm glad. I'm glad. At some point, listen, replay is not going to solve everything, but replay can. Yeah, Coach, you can come on tomorrow and break down the Spain and France. No problem. So the idea that you can flop to the nature in which this flop occurred, and for you to believe that there's an eye in the sky and they won't come and cut you down. See, to me, when a flop is this egregious, and I can't play the full video because if I play the full video, the show will get taken down, and I don't want my Monday show taken down because I enjoy them too much. This flop was so egregious, like no one touched him, and he absolutely went airborne. He went absolutely airborne. You needed to be removed from the game. He needs multiple suspensions. You know how they lifted Balogun suspension? They should suspend this man whenever he shows up at the World Cup again. He should be suspended for the entire World Cup. Replay doesn't always get it right. But when replay does assist to make the wrong thing righted, that's what it's for. This was so egregious. This, to me, to all the new people watching soccer, to all the new people trying to learn the ins and outs of the game, if they would have gotten away with that, if he would have flopped like that, and he would have been able to get away with that, you know how many new fans that would have burned? Because again, this is the most popular game in the world, but not in America. The World Cup's taking place in America. There are American eyeballs on this. As long as growing the game of soccer while also trying to grow the MLS, you need people to be watching this. And if these are the best, because we know the MLS is not the best, but if these are the best players and these are the antics they're resorting to, oh no, nobody wants part of that. That's anti-American. That's anti-American right there. No. And so when I saw this and then I saw this get corrected, I was relieved. VAR has been getting crushed. They got this right. They get crushed for going back to the VAR and coming back and saying, "Hey, man, this happened and we didn't originally call it, but we're calling it now." They've been crushed for that a couple of times. They got it right here. Replay always evens out. Replay always evens out. This is why when they get stuff wrong, yeah, we talk crazy about it because you should get certain things right. Like the whole there's a chip in the ball, and the ball did touch this guy because it slightly changed direction because we have a chip in the ball. Therefore, it's not a goal. This is offsides because there's been a lot that has happened in this World Cup, like I said before, with VAR in it that people were pissed, absolutely pissed about. They got this right. Stop the flop. Stop the flop. I'm ready to print the t-shirts, man. I'm ready to print the t-shirts. Stop the flop across the board. Stop the flop in basketball. Stop the flop in soccer. You can't flop in football. There's no reason for you to flop in baseball. So the two sports that probably have the most global reach suffer from flopping. And I wish I could tell you that flopping came when the Europeans came in the game. It began to become exaggerated. But flopping has always existed in basketball because at the end of the day, what you're trying to do is manipulate the referee. Here comes London Graham. So yeah, I mean, I thought the call was right. I thought the call was on time, and I thought they got it right. There were a couple of other things that happened in the sport this weekend. Let me see if I can find which. We're gonna talk about the Padres last. The Conor McGregor situation. Now, the UFC has taken a turn. We're all aware of it. We understand that the UFC is now really a more of a it feels more political than it does anything. With the retirement of John Jones, with I don't know what happened with Ronda Rousey, with Conor McGregor, with SVP, with there have the Gracie family. See, I was watching MMA initially when it was banned and it could only fight in like 2 places. That's when I started watching it. And as it has gotten a facelift and now it's partners with Paramount and it's partners with ESPN at one point in time, and it stepped itself into the big boy sporting television world. It took a turn. It took a real sharp turn. So for me, if John Jones is fighting, I'll watch. If Conor McGregor is fighting, I'll watch. There are a couple fighters like the whole Gina Carano, Ronda Rousey fraud hit job, money grab that they did. I watched it. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I watched it. Like if George St. Pierre is fighting, I'll watch it. If Anderson Silva's fighting, I'll watch it. Hell, if they could get Rampage Jackson to fight again, I'd watch it. But some of the Conor McGregor, I'm watching. Whether you like him or not, he doesn't have to be a good guy for you to find him entertaining as a fighter. This is what boxing doesn't have anymore. Boxing, there's no person that can get me to a television screen to watch boxing anymore. That sport is dead to me. You're dead to me. UFC may have died to me this weekend because Conor McGregor was the last recognizable guy who could get me to a television screen so that I can go, okay, let's see what he got. And I was wildly disappointed. My sheer level of disappointment in what I saw from the UFC, there were good fights on that card. I didn't come for those fights. Patty winning on a just basically choking a guy out. Awesome. But Patty don't get me to the screen. Patty to me is still responsible for the Padres losing streak. So I don't really get down with him like that. But the dude can fight. The dude can fight. But when I watch Conor McGregor, whether depending on who you believe, whether he got hurt before that, which it doesn't appear that he did, whether he actually got hurt in the ring, Credit to Max Holloway for not wanting to hurt him in front of his family, which he talked about in the post-game press conference. I'm sorry, post-fight, whatever they call it. It ended. And this is the thing that we're running into in sports. This is what we're going to run into with LeBron James, by the way. Sometimes you watch it end and it's respectful and it's graceful, which I think is what's going to happen with LeBron. And sometimes, because the fight game is an ugly game, sometimes greatness ends in a very nasty way. It ends with a whimper. It doesn't end with a roar. Fighters oftentimes they can't go out with a roar. It always, as a fighter, it always has to be a whimper. Because if you go out with a roar, there's always another opponent. There's always another payday. Floyd Mayweather, for instance. There's always another fight if you are a fighter. That's why these legendary fighters, they don't go out with a roar, they go out with a whimper, because they have to be set out to pasture. I mean, tell me I'm wrong. This is what happened to Conor McGregor. He hadn't fought in 4 years. I guess I had to ask myself, what did I expect? Conor McGregor hadn't fought in 4 years. And within that 4 years, he was doing businesses. He was getting arrested. He was, allegedly sexually assaulting somebody. He had found Jesus after that. This man had been through a lot in the last 4 years. Why did I expect for him to be competitive in a mixed martial art event? I blame myself. I don't blame Conor McGregor for that. That's on me. He got me to the TV. I fully had the chance to not do it. But because somebody who I recognize and I find entertaining is ready to entertain me, I showed up. And boy, did I get what I came for. Hosed. Now, Graham says he got $16 million for 69 seconds. I hope he don't spend it all in one place. Because that check will never meet that. The check will never meet that again. That is, Conor used that last 16 million, so let's call it around 7 after taxes, because they fought in America. They're gonna get their money. The UFC, how it breaks down. Spend that 7 to 8 million wisely. That's what you got. So Conor, of that 16 million after taxes and business and blah blah blah, Conor probably got $7 million. You good, bro. You ain't got to do nothing else in life. You got 7 million. You got a good business. You got a beautiful family. You getting your life right. You running for. Oh my God, I forgot. He ran for office in Ireland. The dude's been doing other things. What did I expect from him? Like what? I forgot about the time. I forgot he said he was running for office. So let me get this straight. So in the last 4 years, Conor McGregor has openly had a drug problem, has sexual assault cases against him, still being sued for beating up a random person. If I get that correctly, maybe he settled that case. Found Jesus, ran for, I think it was either president or some form of government office to get immigrants out of Ireland, whatever that's about. And then he, decided he wanted to fight, and his leg didn't hold up. Like, he's a champion. What Conor McGregor's done, you can't take it away from him. But again, these guys, they got to go out with a whimper. Their body has to quit on them. And even when their body quits on them, their body has to quit on them in front of millions of people. He'll fight again. I won't watch it. But he'll fight again because their body has to quit on them in front of millions of people. And after that happens, then they have to be physically forced to quit, which is what will happen in his next fight. Max Holloway could have killed 2 birds with 1 stone, but Max Holloway, regardless of what he says out loud, is a good person. Max Holloway is an honorable man because he could have really hurt Conor McGregor. He could have really hurt him. But because of Conor McGregor, Max Holloway's payday is big. So out of respect for the check and out of respect for the sport, Max Holloway did the right thing. But that was the last time we'll probably see Conor McGregor in that fashion. He looked like he was in great shape. He looked ready to fight. His body wasn't. His mind probably wasn't either. Yeah, David P. I talked about it before. I saw Patty submit. Buddy, and that was tough. What about technology? That was tough to watch Patty put that boy in the choke, put him to sleep. And by the way, shout out to Flying on Planes. By the way, if you're gonna go out, got to go out in your sword. Buddy said, I ain't tapping. You're gonna have to send me that night. Patty said, I oblige. Good night now. Good night now, my friend. Well, listen, in the fight game, baby, I respect it. Shout out to Ask Technology watching this show on the plane. How high you up in there? Because we high right now, if that's the case. We high right now in the show. We high in the hell. We 50,000 feet or however many you up. Patty put the boy to sleep. And then woke up and was like, when some of these fighters get put to sleep, boy, they wake up, they be about to knock the hell out the referee. Buddy woke up and was like, But yeah, I hope we've seen the last of Conor McGregor. The question now becomes, what else will get me to the UFC screen? Because to get me to the UFC screen, that fighter has to defy politics. Because that's what it is. That's what UFC's turned itself into. That's what the UFC has turned itself into. It's turned itself into literally a political arm for a particular political party. And if you find that to be offensive, then a lot of people have clicked off. What happened at the White House offended as many people as people who thought it was cool. And so they made a choice. UFC made a choice. And when you make that choice, you have to understand when your game becomes political, you lose 50% of your audience. That's why you shouldn't do it. Now, when you lose 50% of your audience, you need to have somebody come up that reminds your audience why they started watching before all this other stuff happened. Conor McGregor was that for me. John Jones is that for me. John Jones pretty much said it'll take so much money for him to fight again, Dana White would never offer it to him. I think Conor McGregor will fight again because a great fighter with that much, self-respect would never go out like that. David P. I think Max Holloway is going to win a fight no matter what. Let's make something super clear here. I think Max Holloway is going to win the fight no matter what. Conor's body probably saved his face from a mushing. But in the MMA, you one punch away from winning, and that's why Conor's who he is. But Max Holloway was going to, hard hat lunch pail Conor McGregor. But like I said, Max Holloway's a good man. That could have gone a lot of different ways. And he chose to respectfully treat that man with the level of respect that is required from a great, which Conor McGregor is. Period. And when you respect that, that's what you get. That's what you get. Graham, don't come in. Graham, for the people in the podcast, people listening via podcast, Graham says it was rigged. Of course, Graham's the Oscar the Grouch of the show. What makes you think it was rigged, Graham? Come on, man. Shout out to Biggie. What makes you think it was rigged, Graham? Come on, bro. I don't know if there's a person that exists now that can get me to the television that can supersede UFC's politics. I really don't. UK Graham don't like the Irish. Ah, that makes perfect sense. Thanks, you, Ass Technology. That actually makes a lot of sense. Good. Way to have some insight on UK Graham. So yeah, man. Look, I got it. It is what it is. It is what it is, man. Now let's talk about the inevitable. F. Everybody, give me your Padre grades for the first half of the season. Biggie, you can give me your Giants grade for the first half of the season. I already know that's an F2. Look, man. I don't. Biggie says, JB, your Padres got an early Christmas present from the Jays manager when he let the guy who blew the World Series pitch in the 8th inning. I knew the Jays were going to lose. Hoffman is the worst. Look, bro, I don't care what gift they got that don't necessarily cover up the stench. See, they went into All-Star break on a very good note. Manny had multi-hit games. 3 out of the last 4 games, I think Manny had multi-hit games. So that's, by the way, that's fantastic. That's fantastic as opposed to where he was heading. But you're still growing the break. You're still behind Arizona. If we go to the standings, you in a wild card, because we don't look at the regular stuff. If you go to the wild card standings, you still behind Chicago, Philadelphia, Miami, St. Louis, Pittsburgh, Arizona. You're still behind more teams than you ahead of. So, and you only a half game ahead of the Nationals. So if you're the Padres, you go into the break 5 out of 5 in your last 10. You won 2 in a row. But as you go, look, man, as you go into the next chapter, Manny has finally gotten over 200. Manny has finally gotten over 200. Listen, I don't care how you do it. Manny been hitting them singles. You right, Biggie. Manny been hitting them singles like a slice of cheese, baby. Whatever works. Look, man. Graham says Dodgers got swept. They good. They good. Why? Listen to this, Graham. Listen to this, Graham. Listen to this. Dodgers got swept. They still 11 games ahead of Arizona. Arizona swept them. First time they didn't sweep them since I think it was like 2018 or something crazy like that. They still 11 and a half games ahead. So enjoy. I hope people of Arizona enjoyed that sweep. Doesn't matter. So as we look at this, as we grade the Padres, I don't have my whiteboard. As we grade the Padres, I'm gonna go down the organization. The organization as a whole, the front office, the ownership, incomplete. Because we don't the deal's not done. The transaction is still pending. That transaction pending like a man at the club knowing his check got to go through at midnight, so he ain't bought a drink yet. That thing looking real shaky. Give me some draft. Give me some grades for the Padres this season. I'm gonna tell you this. So I'm gonna give the organization as a whole, the front office, the brain trust side of it, an incomplete. I do need an interactive whiteboard behind me. I'll break it in. I got a big one. I literally bought a big one for this, and I'm gonna put it somewhere. And skip. That's me right on the whiteboard. That's what those sound effects are. So we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna give out some grades. Okay? If you did good, let me turn it up. If you did good, if you did bad. Got that one. Got that one. No, that sucks. Oh, I like that. I like that. I'm gonna add some sound. I'm gonna add some more. Oh, was that boo? Oh yeah, adding that. Done. What? Hold on. Okay. So as we do this season, let's give Biggie out first. Biggie give his team an F. That's for the Giants. One big F for the Giants. For the Padres, because they get an incomplete. Because they get an incomplete for the front office. We need help. Someone please call 911. We need help, bro. What the hell's going on? Who owns the team? Who owns the team? Raiders versus everyone wants to give Jay-Z an F for his concert. Jake Cronenworth. Glad you're healthy. Mason Miller. Team's only All-Star. Let me see who. Gavin Sheets. Because I don't expect much from you. Ruben Niebla. I say Ruben Niebla. Because without him, what would we do? What would we be without him? Xander Bogart. I say Xander Bogarts. And in addition to that, cops come get him because he's stealing money. Someone please call 911. Come get Xander Bogarts, dog. He's stealing money. He's stealing money. And because we're bipartisan here, we just covering sports these days. We ain't really that. As Technology says the Dodgers get an A plus. Okay, I can listen. I can respect that. Man, come to the show every day. Man, come to the show every day, hang out. I can give his team a shout out. Oh, Biggie. In fact, true that. White Sox. Shots fired. Shots fired because it's the South Side. Fernando Tatis Jr. Jackson Merrill. Anybody playing catcher for the Padres. And I mean, anybody playing catcher for the Padres. It don't even matter. The most pathetic position on the whole goddamn team all year. I did Fernando Tatis Jr. I did Jackson Merrill. Anybody in left field? Everybody off the bench. Now the manager's difficult. Okay. I don't hate the manager. Listen, we hired this man to grow on the job. He grown on the job. I don't know what y'all want him to do. It's not his fault. They hired somebody who didn't want the job. Doing the best he can with what he got. I ain't mad at him. I ain't mad at him at all. What you're asking the manager to do. What you're asking the manager to do. It's very difficult. You have no pitching staff. Oh, wait. Whoa. Whoa. You Darvish. Stealing money. Joe Musgrove. Get healthy. Nick Pivetta. Get healthy though. So I mean, and the reason why I'm not super hard on the manager is because look at what he's been dealt. Look at what he's working with. Look at what he's carrying. Look at the water he's trying to carry for this organization, where the general manager doesn't necessarily speak publicly. You have no idea who the owner is. All your starting pitcher appears to have a limbs falling off. What you do have, you got it off the scrap heap, and that's why Ruben Niebla got a round of applause, and that's why the manager got a round of applause. Everybody else, you get what you deserve. Padres fan base. I say Padres fan base. How they really feel, though. Because it's tough. It's tough, but y'all packing that building. And they sent y'all out the right way. But the way that this team is going this season, man, it's been embarrassing. It's been roughly embarrassing, man, with this payroll and the amount of people who come through their door. It's been embarrassing, man. Biggie says, Braves get an A because they're still in first place, even with all the injuries to the damn pitching staff. And Acuna has been injured most of the year. I think Acuna was on steroids, allegedly, and that's why he keeps getting hurt. So, but shout out to the Braves getting in first place with an A. Here's a grade for the Mets. Blow that up, bro. Blow that up. Padres at the deadline, maybe. Maybe Padres at the deadline. You nervous? I'm not. And as we talk about what happens next with this team when they come back, you are technically not out of the wild card chase with 90 games to go. Or what is it, 48 and 48? So that is, you're 96 games into the season of a 162-game season. You are 3 games out. You're 3 games out of the wild card position. But in those 3 games, you are out of the wild card position. You are behind 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams with behind 3.5 games. So you really only got to jump 1, 2, 3 teams. St. Louis, Pittsburgh, and Arizona. With what you have on this roster, with the amount of money you have invested in it, regardless of who's investing the money, the checks are still clearing. So that's all that really matters at the end of the day for the people running on the field. You have fan support. The manager is figuring it out as he goes along. You have an all-star closer who's the best closer in baseball. You're pitching. At some point, Joe Musgrove will come back this year. I haven't seen a guy miss 2 years for a arm injury in a very, very long time. So, since like maybe the early 2000s. I don't think you're ever going to see Yu Darvish again. You may see Nick Pivetta again. So if you get back Nick Pivetta, if there's a good chance within an organization, you get back Nick Pivetta and you get back Joe Musgrove, then yeah, you can trade for Tariq Skubal. I'm on board with that because at that point now you have Tariq Skubal, you have Nick Pivetta, you have Joe Musgrove, you have Michael King. Give me those 4 against anybody. Give me those 4 against anybody. If I told you after the All-Star break, the Padres going to return with a pitching rotation of Tariq Skubal, Michael King, Nick Pivetta, and Joe Musgrove, you'd be on board with that. With that bullpen getting their arms rested after being taxed throughout the year, with Mason Miller at the back end, guys got to hit. So now that becomes the question. Now that becomes the question because I don't mean to get people's hopes up. But you see Manny begin to come out of it. He's now batting over 200. But by the way, you're batting over 200 still, buddy. But nonetheless, he's getting there. So if you're looking at it let's try to look positive. Let's look positive at this, okay? So Manny is beginning to find his way, but then you get a break. So, that is whatever it is. Tatis has played the best baseball he's played in a while continuously for the Padres. If Jackson Merrill gets a little bit better, and then you trade for Tariq Skubal, you also have the people who I mentioned before. Nick Pivetta comes back, Joe Musgrove comes back, Michael King, and then you can move everybody else to the bullpen to strengthen the bullpen in a playoff series. I like Tariq Skubal and Nick Pavetta as my 1 and 2. Michael King is my 3rd if I need. Michael Joe Musgrove on deck if you need somebody to come in relief for Mason Miller to finish the game off. I'm just saying, man. If we're trying to look at this on the bright side, if we're looking at this on the up and up, there is a positive way on the second half of the season being 3.5 games out of the wild card. With the teams in front of you, don't scare you. There's nothing that scares you about the Cubs. They've been as disappointing as the Padres. There's nothing that scares you. Well, Philly does scare you, but if you get Tariq Skubal, you got a fighting chance because they strike out a lot. The Marlins flame out every year. I don't believe in them. You're better than the Cardinals. You just haven't shown it. You're better than the Pittsburgh Pirates, who seem to, they seem to be getting it together, but your roster is better than theirs. And I personally, I don't respect Arizona, so that's a me thing. But the teams in front of you don't necessarily strike any fear. But moves have to be made. If you're going to buy, you buy. If you're going to buy, you buy. But I don't know if they're going to buy. You don't know if they're going to buy. So I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. But at the end of the day, man, it's been a pathetic first half of the season. It can't get much worse. The upside about the second half of the Padres season, the next however many games they got left. So if they've played 96 games, they have 66 games left. Of the 66 remaining games, it can't get any worse. That's just my personal belief. It can't get no worse than what it's already been. It really can't. So let's all hope that I'm right about that. And now to the inevitable story. Wait, hold on. It's not working. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. Now to the story that just won't go away. If you're a Laker fan, aren't you glad you're not involved in this? If you're a Laker fan, aren't you glad that you don't have to sit around and wait for LeBron James to decide to come play for your team at the age of 42? This conversation about where LeBron is going to play feels dumb at this point. It does. Because every day it's a new team that doesn't really, whatever. Rich Paul says he's not ring chasing. So if he goes to Philadelphia, everyone's going to call him a ring chaser. They win that ring, it won't matter. I heard Colin Cowherd say, oh, nobody gets mad when you go to Ohio State. Those are 17, 18-year-old kids. Nobody says, oh, you're ring chasing in football. Yeah, they do. Nobody said, oh, Tiny was ring chasing. Yes, they did. LeBron James' legacy, for his legacy to end on a high note, he can't ring chase. Or if he does, he gets that 5th championship, people will always discount it. So it's about what he wants. LeBron James said he wants to do what he thinks is best, where he'll have the most fun. This is about fun for him because you want to win while you're having fun. But if the 3 teams that people say are in the forefront of this, Philly being one, Cleveland being the other, and Golden State being the third. If you're looking at this, I've already made it very clear. I think the answer should be Golden State. It'll be smarter. It'll be much better television. And to have Steph Curry and LeBron James on the same team with Draymond Green will finally get his wish to hang around LeBron for an entire year uninterrupted. Jimmy Butler will come back at some point during the year. Kristaps Porzingis will show up, until he gets a cold when you need him the most in the playoffs. But the Warriors roster, that's a solid roster. That's better than Cleveland's roster because there's nobody on Cleveland's roster better than Steph Curry. Sorry. There's Donovan Mitchell and I would take Jimmy Butler, the diminished version of Jimmy Butler, over anybody else on the Cavs roster. Does LeBron James want to play with Donovan Mitchell and James Harden? I don't think so. You talk about not having fun. You ever go back to high school after you graduated? It's cool for like 20 minutes. You see your favorite teacher. You might see somebody you're still cool with that are they're a senior now. You go holler at your coach. After that, you're like, damn, I'm glad I don't go here no more. Damn, I'm happy where I'm at. That's what's going to happen if he goes to Cleveland. Initially, it'll be cool and people will be happy about it. But you still got to play with James Harden. You still got to play with Donovan Mitchell. Like that starting lineup on paper looks great. James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, LeBron James, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. That looks great on paper. You did just see them get beat in the playoffs when James Harden disappeared. And then Donovan Mitchell no-showed every other game. LeBron can't fix that. Evan Mobley was a no-show. Jared Allen, a no-show. You can't fix that, man. LeBron can't fix. LeBron's 42. He's not trying to fix these things. You go to Philly, Jaylen Brown got something to prove. He coming in there on a sour note. Joel Embiid is always hurt. Tyrese Maxey needs shots. VJ Edgecombe needs shots. What LeBron doing there? That sound like fun to LeBron? He don't know none of these dudes. LeBron don't know Tyrese Maxey from the next, person he signs to be a teammate with. He don't know their offense. You're having to change their entire offense to fit LeBron. That's Joel Embiid's team. So when Joel Embiid show up too, now you got to play a whole totally different way. So the Philly thing, as much as people keep saying it's Philly, it does. On paper, it literally doesn't make any sense to me. At the end of the day, if you're looking at this, and I might be wrong because I'm not in tune with LeBron's camp. To me, the best decision is between one of two teams. You go back to Cleveland and you do the hometown thing and you finish where you started. People can respect that from a basketball standpoint. I would just lie to James Harden and not re-sign him. You can call me what you want, James, but the team would be better without him because LeBron's got to play point. Because LeBron not paying point, what's James Harden doing? What's Donovan Mitchell doing? See what I'm saying? We haven't ever seen – you go to Philly. We never seen Tyrese Maxey play off the ball. We rarely see Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown just got to tell you, I don't want to play off the ball. I'm the guy. And when Joel Embiid show up, he's the guy. I love Jaylen Brown. Joel Embiid's better. LeBron finna go join that? That's so many unknowns in Philly. Philly has so many unknowns. LeBron finna go get involved with that because of Bob Myers? Nah, bruh. No. I think it's between Cleveland and it's between Golden State. One thing he knows when he goes to Golden State, the intelligence level, everybody's on the same page. There are no dummies in that organization. He's played for Steve Kerr and Team USA. He has a healthy respect for Steph Curry as a competitor, as a professional. He has a healthy respect and love for Draymond Green as a brother. Jimmy Butler's a competitor. I think if you're going to choose between the two, it's one of those two. It's Cleveland or Golden State. Is there a mystery team? I'm sure there is. But do you think LeBron want to go play with Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball and Rudy Gobert? Like, just say it out loud. Whenever you're thinking something and you don't know if it sounds crazy, just say it out loud. Like when you start talking about mystery teams, Denver, no cap, no money. They would have to literally just dump people, like people who make a lot of money. They would have to dump them just to get into a space to do that. Because they got to re-sign Peyton Watson. He wants $25 million. If he don't get it, the Clippers going to give it to him, which will also be stupid, but that's not the point. Say it out loud. He go back to the Lakers? Say it out loud. Say it out loud. The only thing out loud that makes any real actual sense, because what also gave it away was when Rich Paul said out loud. Rich Paul literally said in a podcast, because he does that a lot, if the Knicks wouldn't have won the championship, LeBron would have gone to New York. So that goes to tell you he's looking for two things. He's either looking to make he's looking to make a statement in history, or he's looking to have a good time. You're not going to have a good time playing for Cleveland. You're not. You can dedicate the rest of your life to the city of Cleveland and Akron and helping the local area and doing those things. The move is Golden State because we've never seen anything like that. And I think that's what the move will be. I think it will be Golden State because we've never seen anything like that. What Kevin Durant did with the Golden State Warriors was good. This will be totally different. This, not to say Kevin Durant's not a smart basketball player, but on a cerebral level, if their bodies hold up, and that's a big if their bodies hold up, come into the season, but you know nobody wants to play them in the playoffs. No, if you're telling me in the playoffs to start game one, you're looking at Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, LeBron James, Draymond Green, and Kristaps Porzingis. I'm putting that 5 guys against anybody in the league, and I'm picking them. Don't tell me about no bench. You don't need no bench. Steph Curry is on the court. LeBron James is on the court. When one of them isn't on the court, the other one's on the court. That's how you do that in the NBA, by the way. You watch a playoff game, 7 teams play. You just watched the playoff game between the Knicks and the Spurs in the championship. How many guys in the bench really made impact? The Knicks had a bunch of guys off their bench making an impact. The Spurs didn't. They had 3 guys come off the bench every game. One of them did nothing in Luke Cornett. Keldon Johnson sometimes did something, but not really. And then Dylan Harper, showed out. So off the bench, the Spurs had 1 productive player. One. The Knicks had 2, sometimes. Most of the time, 1. And that one person off the bench wasn't the same person every time. Ask Mike Brown. So this idea that you need this glorious, the bench is for the regular season. The bench is for the regular season. The starters are for the playoffs, man. So that's where I think it's going. I want to try something new to end the show. So we can start knowing the show is over. We're going to start playing some soft background music. Let me see what this sounds like. Nope. So maybe we'll start playing this music when the show's about to end. What's this one? I like this one better. Yeah, so good show, man. Good show. We'll start playing this music. I'm gonna start using all the tools on this. We'll start playing this song when it's time for the show to end, just to give people a heads up of we about to get out of here. I'm John Browner. I'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Take care. Peace.